And welcome. Italk 106.7 FM, the voice of the mountain. I'm your host, Janine Ford. Really great to hear from our good friend Steve Carvajal today. Steve, how are you doing this afternoon?
Janine, I'm just doing wonderful as always. It's always great to be on your show. I'm excited as always to talk about things that infect and impact the White Mountains.
Very nice. And you've been down there chasing everybody. Chasing. Basically, you're down there in the valley and southern Arizona, kind of running around with Andy Biggs all over the place doing his security, right?
Right. Yeah. Yesterday was a congressional visit. So it was on, basically Andy has to split things into two. Congressman Biggs has to split things into two these days, meaning that he has his congressional side where he's still working for us very, very hard as a congressman. And then he has his campaign side. So there's a delineating line between the two. And yesterday, the event was a visit by Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins.
Oh, she's sharp, isn't she? Wow.
Oh, you know what? I finally got to meet her, and what a great lady. She's a super cool lady. Very, very impressive. And she came down. It was a really neat deal. We're opening up the Douglas Port of Entry again for cattle once again. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge area for cattle. Now, it had been shut down because of the screwworms and the Nova worms.
Right.
And Nova flies. And the screwworm flies are, back in the 50s, they were a massive problem for U.S. agriculture and cattle production because the screwworm will find any kind of open sore on a cow's body and lay an egg in it, and then that larva just starts going in there and eating, and it makes cows really sick.
Right.
So we got rid of those back in the early 60s by creating massive amounts of male flies and sterilizing them. So then we released them into the fields, and they would go and mate with the other females, but they couldn't produce any offspring. And literally within a year, because these flies reproduce so fast,
mm-hmm.
the screwworms were basically gone. And it was just a very effective way of doing it. So we started doing that again now. And that was one of the things Secretary Rollins was talking about, was that we're managing the screwworms, and we're managing, there's another fly called the Nova worm, or Nova fly. And we're doing both of those at the same time, basically the same way we did before, only now we have much more efficient and economical ways we don't have to irradiate the flies.
Right,
right. We can breed them that are sterile to begin with. They're genetically engineered flies, which sounds really good.
So cool to hear how they can do all that stuff. That's really cool.
It is amazing. And when you listen to her talk, because she's a very smart lady. I mean, there's no doubt why President Trump asked her to be the Secretary of Agriculture, because she knows this. She grew up on a big ranch a medium-sized ranch that are family-owned in Texas, and her family now. She's married and has 4 children, and they ranch.
Yeah.
So he actually picked somebody who actually, she's not a Harvard, wormhead. She's actually a really smart, practical person who understands exactly what's going on.
Yeah, so that's huge. Yeah. And so you were down there and she was there and racing around, and you were saying too that Andy Biggs he seems to be just climbing up in the polls and everything else like crazy. He's doing so good for running for a governor too.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I'm actually protecting him primarily just so he can become the governor of Arizona, as you know. And this is going into our 11th month that we've been working with Congressman Biggs. And I'll tell you, as I've gotten to know him as a human, he is just a fantastic guy. He really is. If Andy Biggs and I met just out anywhere, he would be, you could become a good friend of his just by talking to him. because he's just that kind of guy. He is a genuine, real person.
Oh, yeah.
He's not like a lot of other politicians. And
yeah, I've known him for years, being from
yes.
Gilbert and everything too. And they're such good people.
He is.
Such good people.
And Eli Crane was down there yesterday. Juan Ciscomani was down there yesterday because that's Juan's district. It was just a really great meeting. And what was odd, though, Janine, is that so in doing personal security details in the past for other politicians and other high-profile personalities, what happens when you go into another area, into an area you're not localized in like this, we're going down to Douglas. So as the head of security, I reach out to the sheriff and I reach out to the chief of police down in these areas and let them know we're coming in.
Right.
And this is for several reasons. Number one, they need to know what we're doing. And then also they need to know that we're going to be with the congressman so that if anything goes wrong, you don't shoot the guys hanging on to the congressman and moving him. You know, we're not trying to kidnap him. We're trying to save him.
Right.
And it's a big deal. They need to know this. This is a security matter. It's a safety matter. But what is unique about this particular year, and it's really ramped up, and yesterday was a great example. So we were at the port of entry. So we're talking with the head of Customs and Border Protection down there at the port of entry there in Douglas. And these guys opened everything up for us. For my co-part Scott Green and I, we went in there and we talked to them, and they were just so welcoming, all because of Andy Biggs.
Aww.
And they were talking about how they're so happy with the current administration in there because when they need something, they get it from the administration, and they're looking forward to working with Congressman Biggs, both as a congressman until he ends his term in January and as the governor. They're so excited that they had 35 officers out there helping us provide security from Customs and Border Protection. And then we had 11 officers, I think, from the Douglas Police Department, plus a couple of guys from the Cochise County Sheriff's Department. All of these people are so excited to help keep Congressman Biggs safe and sound. It is just beyond me. I can't even explain what it's like to go into this type of situation and have this sort of response. And this is the same response all over the world.
I'm sorry, that is so awesome. But when you mention the current administration, you're not talking about Katie Hobbs.
No. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
They really, because Customs and Border Protection doesn't have anything to do with them, but agriculture does.
Yeah.
Katie Hobbs had her agriculture commissioner down there. And, I mean, this guy is just exactly what you'd think. He knows nothing about what he's talking about. He can give you all the Democratic communist talking points, but absolutely nothing that relates to agriculture. He doesn't even know. He's chosen because he's part of the in-group, but not because of his acumen in his supposed field that he's supposed to regulate.
In agriculture,
and
yeah.
He was just, he was so much at a loss in that room. We had Casey Murph there, who I just adored. Casey's such a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to meet his lovely wife yesterday. Eli Crane was there with Gaither Martin. And like I say, Juan Ciscomani was there. It was just a really good group of people. And then you had this one guy over here who just stood out like a sore thumb because, number one, he is. I mean, he was just so out of the loop. When Congressman Biggs walks in there, he has already studied what the issues are. Eli Crane, when he walks in there, he knows what's going on, what's happening, why we need to do what we're going to do. The Hobbs appointee, he's like sitting there like with this wide-eyed look on his face. He couldn't understand what was happening.
What they were talking about.
Yeah. And Secretary Rollins is up there giving this talk to this round table, and she's having people go around and say why they're there and everything. And this guy gets to him and he goes, "Well, I'm here because it's an agriculture issue, and Governor Hobbs asked me to attend." Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I have
Not
nothing.
because you actually have any input.
I have no input. Yeah, I have
Yes,
no.
exactly.
Yeah. Now
So,
speaking. Yeah, go
but
ahead.
that's what we expect from this administration. They are a lackluster, just dumber than a box of rocks group of communists that are they're the front people for a group of people behind them. Hobbs isn't smart enough to be governor on her own. She's got a bunch of people that are out of the state who are calling the shots, possibly even out of this country. But she's backed by some very wealthy and high-powered communist donors, and she spent $3.5 million so far in campaign ads. And here's the interesting thing, Janine, you know this from being in the media so long. The interesting thing is that Andy Biggs has spent, as far as his Congress or his gubernatorial race, been very, very little so far. We waited until he was after not I say we, I mean, I'm not in that end of the campaign. I'm in the security side. But they waited till they found out whether or not he's going to win the primary. And, of course, he did in a spectacular fashion, making over 70% of the vote and setting records as far as, the best run campaign ever for that position in Arizona. And kudos to his staff and his campaign manager, Pat Aquilina, and to Drew Sexton and several other people, and just his entire team. He picks really good people. And so anyway, I don't know, it's just they have spent so little money on advertising yet because they didn't need to for the primary. Now They're going to start. But Hobbs has raised about $6 million so far, and she gets it mainly from back in Martha's Vineyard and then going to fundraisers in L.A. and Sacramento, where you have Gavin Newsom holding a fundraiser for her.
Yeah, all the it's scary.
All the morons.
And the Green New Lie donations, all the crap. Exactly. And
So the interesting thing is that Hobbs has spent $3.5 million already on ads against Andy Biggs, and they're falling flat. They're not moving the needle a dime. Not a speck. It's not effective.
And the fact that she will not debate, I mean, I know why she won't debate Biggs.
She'd get killed.
She'd get murdered. Yeah, it would be so sad. It would just be a slaughter. Yeah, because she's not that swift. Yeah.
The Trump-Biden debate was bad.
Yeah.
If Hobbs Biggs debate would be so spectacularly awful for her.
Yeah.
And that's why she won't do it. She'll hide in her office. She won't do interviews. They're going on a forum later next month. But in this one forum that they're going to have, I can't give you the date. I'll let them respond to that. Hobbs demanded that they not even come in contact with the other team. She won't even come out and shake Andy's hand and say, "Let's have a great race."
Need to go hide in the basement. Yeah.
Yes, and she's a pathetic excuse of a human being. I mean, I can say nothing good about this person. She's done things.
Well, if you want a puppet, if you're big, if you want a puppet and you want to be able to tell them what to do and they follow your actions, that's the person you pick.
Exactly.
Somebody like that. Yeah, puppet.
So it's been really good. It's going to be a great. I like you. I see this when I see all these law enforcement officers that are coming out, and all the heads of law enforcement everywhere that are coming out, like CBP. They were so excited to have them down there yesterday, and they were out there. They could not wait to get their picture taken with the future governor. They were. If Hobbs had showed up there, I mean, they'd have been. It would have been 4 people out there because nobody cares about her.
Yeah,
she's just not a likable person.
So we so appreciate all the good work you do in protecting Andy Biggs and our people down there. And you're working so hard and you're donating your time. Big thanks to you. And of course, we're talking to Steve Carvajal today, guys. We're going to talk much more. We're going to take a break, but we are going to talk about the messy elections up here in Navajo County, the problems, and they just are, blaming poll workers, but whatever. So we're going to talk about messy elections. We're also going to talk about the latest on some of the the wind and solar stuff, and so that'll be really cool. There's some good news and some crazy news that we need to kind of work on our counties with that, with the hideous wind turbines and the solar fields. Okay, so keep it right here. We're going to continue this on Italk 106.7 FM, the voice of the mountain.